Greetings, Eric Bakker, back again. We're doing the series on irritable bowel syndrome. So if this is the first video you've seen in the series, make sure you check out the other several videos we've done on causes, what is IBS, testing and diagnosis, etc. So this video we're going to talk about the best diet for irritable bowel syndrome. Well, what do you think is the best diet for you when it comes to irritable bowel syndrome? What are the best foods for you to eat and the best foods for you to avoid? Well, I don't know you personally, but I'm reaching out to you through Google, Dr. Google, and I'm going to tell you that the best foods for you to avoid are the foods that aggravate you the most. And the best foods for you to consume are the ones that make you feel really good, give you good energy, allow you to sleep properly, allow you to maintain good body weight, improve gut function. Now, those foods can vary very much from person to person. I don't know what your gut function's like. I haven't assessed your gut function. I haven't seen your stool test results. So when you're watching this video and you're listening to some of the things I'm saying, this may apply to you, but it also may not apply to you, okay? So just be careful when you take any advice or listen to somebody through YouTube or read any information on a blog site that you don't take it as the gospel, okay? So, so common sense prevails, people. The most important thing you can do when you've got irritable bowel syndrome initially is to actually use your brain, okay? Use your brain. Now, what I'm meaning by that, I'm not trying to patronize or belittle you, but I'm saying if you're drinking alcohol, bloody stop it. You can't even have one glass of wine a month if you've got IBS. It's just not going to happen. Any form of sugar, any form. We're talking erythritol, sorbitol, we're talking honey, we're talking molasses, we're talking stevia, we're talking xylitol, any kind of toll, whatever toll you want, toll roads, tollways, toll anything. Any kind of sugar, just stop it, okay? Because sugars are a huge bane of people with IBS. It's one of the worst things you can do. So if it tastes really sweet in the mouth, it could have a big aggravating role in your gut. Research has shown, I've just been reading some statistics here, it's incredible, 85% of people, when they took all forms of sugars out of the diet, had a massive relief of symptoms within 3 to 6 months, just by doing that one thing alone. So if you've got IBS and you're watching this, the very first thing that you do is you take sugar out of your diet, or foods containing sugar, all right? You go to your pantry right now and you have a look. If I went to your kitchen right now and I looked at the kitchen bench, would I find a sugar jar? Would I find a honey pot? If I went to your pantry, would I find any bags of sugar in there? Would I find any bottles of molasses or syrup? Would I find a container of xylitol? Would I find you chewing any gum with xylitol in it? Are you eating any confectionery with artificial sugars? Are you drinking Coke Zero? You've got any kind of sugar in your diet, whether it's artificial or real or whatever. That's the very first thing you chuck out of your diet for at least 6 months if you've got IBS. If you can't do that, switch the video off. All right, let's cut the crap. No sugar. It's a no exceptions policy. The second thing I want you to do is to follow my MEVI diet approach in the Candida Crusher book. Meat, eggs, vegetables, and a yogurt approach. Okay, that's usually for about 3 to 4 weeks initially. We just move you gently into that kind of dietary approach. If you have any problems, take some of my Candida Restore product, enzyme probiotic. That's going to help you to break a lot of these foods down properly if you're putting some new foods into your diet or increasing some of these foods. Okay. The second thing that I want you to do after the MEVI approach is to move into the low allergy phase. Now, I assume you've already chucked the sugar out of your diet. You've stopped putting sugar in any kind of food, whether it's real or artificial, or whether it's one of these new fandangled sugars like erythritol or xylitol, or, as I mentioned, those toll kind of sugars. Biff them. Now we're going to look at the low allergy approach. Now you're going to take out oranges, bananas, most fruits, which you should have already done with the no sugar. Bananas, oranges, and pineapples especially. All forms of chocolate and cacao, raw cacao, just biff all that. Get rid of that out of the diet. If you've got a serious gut problem, like very major digestive disorder, you probably would have already followed the GAPS diet or the SCD diet, one of these specific carbohydrate kind of diets already. But if it's very serious, you may also want to consider taking sweet corn out, sweet potato, pumpkin, squash. All those starchy kind of vegetables probably need to go. Many people I find will load up on one or more of these kind of things. They'll have like 2 bowls of pumpkin soup every day and they'll wonder why there's a problem. If it's a very bad gut problem, you want to stop juicing for a while too. Juicing, especially cold juices in the morning, can really stuff up the digestive system. I see too many people who jump on the juice bandwagon and feel worse rather than better. So you're better off really having some lightly cooked food in the morning, a couple of scrambled eggs perhaps. Often a protein source is better in the morning. Most people can tolerate oats, I find, if they have a small amount of oats in the morning. Breakfast is often the trickiest meal to eat, but you need to eat some kind of food in the morning. But eggs usually are well tolerated by a lot of people. So we've gone into the MEVI phase, we've gone into the low allergy phase. Okay, at this stage, your digestive system should be feeling pretty darn good. What you may have also wanted to have completed already prior to going into this is a stool test to find out what kind of pathogens you may have. Have you got bacterial imbalances? Have you got candida? Have you got parasites? What the hell's causing this constipation diarrhea? Consider the Candida Remove product I've created, because it's a really nice product for IBS. It cleans up a lot of digestive problems in people. It helps to eradicate a lot of bad bacteria and candida. I've seen it being very successful with blastocystis and dientamoeba and many different kind of parasites. So you can often do that at the onset, or as you're going through the dietary changes. Just make sure you keep the Candida at a low level. Don't really take it up to a high dose if you're making a lot of diet changes, because you could get a lot of aggravations. And the other thing I'd like you to explain to you, it's not just about the diet. We're going to do another video on stress in the gut a bit later on, but it's important for you to take some time out when you're making these diet changes and try and say no to people and not take on too many new projects. Not a good idea, for example, to go on diet changes if you're starting a new job, or you're getting married, you're going to a new relationship, or you just bought a $5 million house or whatever you're buying, or you know what I mean. If you're taking on a new stress, it's not a good idea to take on a new diet challenge at the same time. Common sense is not so common. We'll see you in the next video. Click on the link below if you haven't got my report. Thank you.